All right, so I'm gonna put on my sunglasses because it's pretty sunny. I'm at my sister's house, so I am gonna record this video outside to avoid the noise of all the kids because it's just such a lovely day with the birds chirping. Today was my last official day of taking antidepressants. I have no idea what the week to come will bring and has in store for me, but as of right now, today will be my last day. I have been waiting for this day since the very first time I took this drug, this antidepressant. So I'm very excited. I'm also very tired. I'm hoping that as I am off the bupropion, I'll be able to get back into a more normal sleeping pattern and that I'll be able to fall asleep, before 2 a.m., which would be super cool. Last night I got like 7.5 hours of sleep though, which is pretty decent, but after like 6 weeks of like 4 to 5 hours of sleep, it catches up to you. As I was pondering today and what I would talk about, I was reflecting, as I have been, about having my daughter going through postpartum depression, accepting that I had postpartum depression, asking for help, getting on the drug, being on the drug for this whole year, and now getting off. The question I've been pondering is, am I detoxed? Am I detoxed? How will I know that I am detoxed? Am I ready to be all the way off the drug? How will I feel this coming week? There's really no way to know any of this other than to experience it, right? To let myself be off the drug and to experience what might come. I'm assuming I might experience a bit of the same. Still struggle with sleep habits. Still struggle with my sleep habits, potentially get a little more vertigo or nausea, potentially have some more short fuse days. But I'm hoping that the longer I'm off, the more regulated I can become again. And the longer I'm off the drug, the more myself I will start to feel. The phrase that my sister and her husband say a lot is, hard things aren't bad, they are hard. I have really been pondering that today, specifically my very last day. I've been pondering that because just because it has been hard, this whole experience, this whole well-rounded experience, just because it's been hard doesn't mean it's a negative or bad thing, right? It can be a growing experience. It can be a learning experience. And in this case, I am making it an educational experience because I try to live my life with the attitude of no regrets, which doesn't necessarily mean doing everything, trying everything, which I do aim for that sometimes, but it also means accepting the mistakes I've made as learning, growing, and educational experiences, which I'm applying to this. This getting on antidepressants was the right thing for me. Getting off of them is the right thing for me. And both things were and are challenging. Both things are hard and they're good. So if you'll recall, last week in my video, I kind of compared specifically last week, but this whole experience to a marathon. And last week was my mile 20, where I realized that I was tired and I was ready to be done and I would love to just give up. This week has been the last 5 miles of my marathon, where I've been very near the finish line, nearly done. Guys, there are 2 turkeys staring at me from over there. And having turkeys just stare at you is a little intimidating, so just be aware of that. I've got 2 turkeys just staring me down. Anyways, this has been my last 5 miles, and this last 5 miles has felt more of a roller coaster because I've had some really good days, and then I've continued to have my really hard days. So I wanted to go through it day by day. Like I've been doing, I've been writing in my journal. I'm gonna go through it day by day and just share what it has been. I have it all summarized and kind of more eloquently written out on my computer. So I'm gonna grab my computer and kind of read through it. So I will be looking at my computer. So last Sunday, I was just exceedingly tired, just very tired, which, as we know, that's been kind of one of my main experiences, is just being so tired. I had a really hard time functioning. I had a hard time holding thoughts in my head. They would escape me as soon as they entered my brain, which is, that's hard. I would start saying something and all of a sudden I wouldn't even know what I was talking about. And not only is that hard, but it's also kind of embarrassing. Again, hard things aren't bad, they're just hard, but still you can feel a little embarrassed by it. On Monday, I forced myself to go to the gym. I texted my gym buddy on either Sunday or Monday, don't remember which day, and I said, do not let me bail. I have to go to the gym. This is my last week of antidepressants. I need to get to the gym. Guys, the turkeys are walking towards me. Anyways, I just told her that I needed her to force me to go to the gym, and she did. And I'll tell you what, this last week, it has been imperative that I do my physical activity, because I'm sure we all have different things, but for me, physical activity is something that really elevates my mental health. So having her and that accountability to get me to the gym cannot be underappreciated. My dad was in town Sunday night to Monday morning, and his presence is generally very helpful. My dad is very prone to deep and thoughtful conversation, and those kinds of conversations can really help people, specifically me, forget my problems, because I think about much more complex ideas about life. So having him here was actually quite helpful in that regard too. Tuesday was what I'm going to call my short fuse day. On Tuesday, I had a very short fuse. At one point, I could recognize that that was happening. So at one point, I kind of locked myself in my closet, away from my kids. If you look through my YouTube shorts, you'll see my video about that. And I locked myself in my closet so that I could just get the space that I needed to recenter myself and calm down and just regain control of my faculties, which is what I did. And after I did that, I sat in there for, gosh, it felt like forever, but it might have only been 5 minutes, but it felt like at least 15 to 20. And I sat in the closet. I just focused on breathing. I had my phone on me to record the short. Other than that, I didn't have my phone doing anything. And after I regained control of myself, I went back out to my kids, and we got ready to go to the store. We went to the store and we had a really fun time at the store. The employees at the place that we grocery shop are so sweet. They give my kids stickers. They're very engaging. They just moved location, so they were helping me find where things are, because I don't know where things are anymore. And at one point I was in an aisle, and I got overwhelming nausea. Like, I thought I was gonna blow chunks on the floor. I had a plan that I was gonna get as close to the ground as possible to reduce splatter. So I quickly ate a treat, and that made it go away. I finished my shopping. I got to the checkout. I was standing there putting my things on the conveyor belt, and I got hit with a wave of vertigo. While I was standing there, the cashier was like, "Are you okay?" And I looked at her and I said, I'm going off of my antidepressants, and I've been experiencing some withdrawal symptoms. And she looks at me and she goes, "Yeah, my son has been through the same thing." It's just really nice getting that validation that she heard what I said, she validated it, and then shared a similar experience from a loved one in her life. The day ended, however, it ended very well. Patrick got home from work. He wasn't feeling good, and our son needed some one-on-one time. So I took him to this park in our town with a dirt path through a forest. It's really beautiful. And he and I went on a 3-mile bike ride, and we had a great time. He loved it, I loved it, and it was just it was a very good way to end a day with so many feelings and withdrawal symptoms. Wednesday, it was a bit of a blustery day. Patrick wasn't feeling good, so he did a lot of work from home. And over lunchtime, Rufus was at school. I put Minietta down for a nap, and I said, "Hey, Patrick, since you're gonna be here while she's sleeping, do you mind if I go for a trail run?" And he was like, "Sure, go ahead." So I texted my neighbor, I borrowed my neighbor's dog, and I went up to this trail that's pretty fun to run on. And I went on a trail run. My plan was to run 3 miles. I ended up running 5. You know, again, I always say this, for me, exercise is just where I can feel at peace with myself. And it was a very good experience. I am so grateful that my husband is so willing and literally always willing to create the space I need to do the things for myself like that, my mental health things. So it ended up being a very positive experience of a day. And I even went to the gym that evening, which, again, always a good experience going to the gym. So on Thursday, it snowed, heavy, wet snow. And I tell you what, Thursday is May 23rd. So we got snow on May 23rd. So it was a bit of a bummer, a bit of a downer. I was a little bit sad about that, but that's what you get for living in Montana. My friend and I, we met up and went to the gym regardless. Turns out that couldn't have been a better choice for us. We had a really good time at the gym. We tried out a new workout. So overall, it was a good day. On Friday, I definitely woke up a little tired and grumpy with a little short fuse. Again, gosh, I need to figure out how to get this fuse a little longer. Got a fuse problem, it sounds like. To be fair, I haven't really been a mom of 2 yet without postpartum depression or antidepressants. So as I go off of this drug, today's my last day. So as I'm off this drug, this will be my first time being a mother of 2 without any antidepressants and without postpartum depression. So I'm giving myself grace in that regard, that this is the longest I'll have, hopefully after I get off this drug, I'll figure out how to be the best mom of 2 that I possibly can be with the best attitude. And I'm very excited for the opportunity to learn this. But Friday, rough day. However, we were able to make it out the door and drive up to my sister's house for Memorial Day weekend. And my sister, they're staying at her house is always so nice. They live in central Montana, or north central Montana, I guess you call it, with tons of land, so much nature, so many animals. Our kids have all the space in the world to run around, so being up here is really probably one of the best ways I could end this detox. So I'm really grateful that we're here. Saturday was an overall pleasant day. Because we're at my sister's house, my kids have what feels like an infinite amount of space to run and play. My son was outside almost all day long yesterday. My daughter, aside from her nap, was just playing with her cousins all day long, and it's just been such a beautiful experience. I would highly suggest, when you're doing your detox, to take yourself camping or go get a spa day. Do whatever you need to do to let yourself relax, because being up at my sister's house has been a game changer. So I would highly recommend that. Again, I am not a medical professional. This is just based off of my own experience, and that is that. So don't take what I say as medical advice. Please do not take it as medical advice. Now, today is Sunday. Today is the last day that I'm planning to take my antidepressant. And I tell you that in that way because if by Tuesday or Wednesday I am feeling like trash, I will take my antidepressant, and I will take it as needed basis until I am out. I have probably 10 more pills left, and I just want you to know, and me to know, and everybody to know, that I am going to give myself the grace I need to be as successful at this detox as possible. I think I said in my very first video that the best advice one of my friends gave me is, it doesn't have to only take 6 weeks. If you need more weeks to get off your antidepressant, take more weeks. That is okay. That is okay. Just don't take less weeks, but you can take more weeks. So if I need more weeks, I will take more weeks, and I'll let you know. I'll tune back in and I will share about that. But as of right now, my expectation is that today is my last day, and I'm so excited. It has been a perfectly pleasant day. We went to church this morning, and then I spent about an hour thinking, praying, and pondering about what to share with you today, and this is what I've come up with, because I want to leave y'all with the most uplifting, grace-filled, realistic experience that I have. I'm all about spreading positivity and joy, but also keeping it real. Overall, I am super grateful for this experience. I have been so grateful for the experience of reflecting on this, going through pregnancy, natural childbirth, postpartum depression, all the medical issues that my daughter had, getting on drugs, being on the drugs, getting off the drugs. It has filled me with so much empathy that I didn't have before. I'm not gonna lie, before I went through this, I always thought that you could treat these things with supplements, exercise, outdoors, and attitude. I didn't understand until I went through it that there's so much more to it than that. You cannot control your brain chemistry. You just can't. It is not something that you can control on your own. And sometimes you just need help. And I'm so grateful that I have had this opportunity to grow in empathy towards the other women in my life who have struggled with depression. I don't believe I will ever look back on it and be grumpy that I had to experience this. I think I will always be grateful that I got to experience this time. I've learned so much about myself, about the world, about the pharmaceutical industry, about nutrition, health, everything. And I am unbelievably grateful for that. I truly don't know if I would have had the success that I'm having right now with this experience if it weren't for sharing with y'all on this platform and journaling. Because of the accountability that I promised you, my followers, I have been successful, and I do give you guys that credit, and I just want to thank you for supporting me and for watching these videos. It is, I don't think you'll ever know just how grateful I am for you all. So thank you. In regards to my journal, I have been very much focusing on the withdrawal symptoms of the antidepressants, but I would like to really reiterate that I have also been writing about the good stuff. So like the bike ride with my son, going to the gym, trail running, my dad being in town. Those are all things that are important to remember, because if we use our journals to only write the negative things, that's the legacy that we're leaving for our children. The legacy I'm trying to leave for my children is that they can read my journal someday and be like, wow, mom went through all of this, but was still able to take me on a bike ride. That's the legacy I would like to leave for my children. And that is what I would suggest you do with your journal, is make sure you write the good stuff, what you learn from the hard stuff as well. I hope that I don't have to put all this knowledge that I've acquired to practice again. If my husband and I have another child, I hope that my brain chemistry keeps itself in check and that I'm okay. But if that's not the case, there are some things I would definitely do differently. I would definitely go get my blood levels tested to see what I need to add or take away from my diet. I think I would definitely clean up my diet in a lot of ways, likely take away sugar and dyes and other things. I would buy a journal for the experience exclusively, and definitely focus on my gratitudes and highlights of my day, and definitely do a lot less writing about the negative stuff. I would preemptively make a list of the recreational activities that I want to accomplish, such as, like, depending on the time of year, hiking or cross-country skiing, and try to really make a point to go do those things. Aside from being a life coach for mothers, I am also a trained recreational therapist. I got my degree in Parks, Recreation, and Tourism with an emphasis in recreational therapy. So I am a huge advocate for leisure time and recreational time. Those things can change your life when done responsibly. And inevitably, I would give myself the grace that I need to succeed, or to admit that I need help. And I would avoid the feelings of shame for what I feel like would be a failure. Before I started antidepressants, I felt that in my life, going on antidepressants would be a failure. But at the end of the day, when I look back, it was not a failure. It was an act of bravery. And I was giving myself the grace and the tools that I needed to be a successful mom and member of my community. And that is how I would treat it going forward if I needed this help again. And if there's any coping mechanism that I hope that I can take with me into the future, is what I learned with my life coach, is holding your hand over your heart as if you're giving your heart a hug, and just saying, I am experiencing postpartum depression, and that's okay. I still love myself. And then sitting with that feeling, holding your heart for as long as possible, as long as you need to really accept those feelings, and to do that as often as you need. Thank you all again for supporting me in this journey, for subscribing to my channel, for following along, for your comments. I would encourage you to subscribe if you haven't already, to like, comment, and share this video. I'm going to continue sharing videos, my goal is weekly, I'm not going to share any more about this unless I have something else to share, but my goal will be to share and talk about specific topics that pertain to various aspects of motherhood. And let's be honest, there are infinite aspects of motherhood. And I'm going to continue sharing my experience in this regard with all of you. And my goal is to spread awareness, spread joy, spread acceptance, positivity, and hope with all of you. So please keep following my channel for more uplifting content from your licensed life coach and the trained recreational therapist and mother of two. So I've got the experience. I look forward to sharing more with you and to getting to know all of you. And I hope you all have a beautiful day and that you enjoy your life. You're all magnificent, and I will talk to you later.